My name is Dr. Temidayo Eseonu. I'm a lecturer in politics and policy at Lancaster University. In this video, I'll be sharing my understanding of intersectionality and how I use it in my work. Intersectionality is a term coined by Kimberly Crenshaw in the 1990s to highlight to the legal scholarship world the need to account for multiple identities when thinking about how the social world is constructed. The core argument that without an intersectional frame, the experiences of Black women will not be paid attention to. Long before Crenshaw coined the term intersectionality, Black women were already pointing to the limitations of social movements that only focused on a single social identity. So Black women like Claudia Jones in the 1940s talked about the triple oppression, referring to race, class, and gender. We also have the Combahee River Collective in the 70s and 80s talking about multiple oppressions stemming from their identities as Black working class women and lesbians. So the idea of intersectionality is rooted in the experiences of Black women. Nowadays, this intersectionality theorizing and praxis extends beyond the experiences of Black women and embraces other social groups as well. In my work, I use Collins and Beall's sort of discussion of intersectionality. So I think about different structural identities as not sort of unitary, but or mutually exclusive, but as co-constituting with each other. So structural identities such as race, class, gender, age, sexuality, ability, ethnicity, religion, and so forth, to think about how these structural identities make people more vulnerable to oppression. Brittany Cooper asked that we pay attention to institutional power arrangements rooted in domination and subordination, which constrict the life possibilities of groups at this intersection. And before I finish, I want to draw attention to a common misconception about intersectionality, where Faber talks about this idea where people think they need to look at all social identities at the same time. Rather, the argument is to start examining the identities that are salient in a given context. So within my work that looks at thinking about racial just policies through the use of participatory processes, I start with race, and then I use an intersectional lens to think about how different structural identities might impact on this particular context. And I hope that this gives my research, my findings, more nuance and is more inclusive.